Hey everyone, it's Danya here bringing you this month's card kit from the Stamps of Life. You got this collection. And as always, it comes with an idea card. And your nifty envelopes. The plastic storage envelope to keep your projects in, or whatever you want to use that envelope for. Now, let me just leave the card here so I can see what the palette is. The card stock. And we have Sunshine. Let's see, Sunshine. I bet you this is bubblegum. Bubblegum, guava, ginger snap, kiwi, candy, midnight, twig, and 4 sheets of powdered sugar. And let's see what else you get. You get the ribbons. This is really a neat ribbon. You get the pretty flowers with the epoxy middle. Very cute, very cute. I don't know, Stephanie, if you watch this, can we have more of these, please? The word die for the month, you got this. Oh my gosh, this is really cute. You get the heart and the 2 leaves, which are darling. So I'm definitely going to use that. You get these puffy hearts foil embellishments, which are really pretty because they're like almost like a mirror. What I call diamonds. Nice and glitzy. The stamp set. This is a beautiful sentiment. The secret ingredient is always love. Very, very pretty. And then this coordinates with the die, which is nice. And then this month, there's a freebie. Hooray. So you got your freebie die. And now, as you can see, I don't get my card kit like you all do. The paper pad, which I'm really excited about. This is so pretty. I need to order some more. And we've got the blenders, and on the opposite side, they're hearts. There's the opposite side. The what you get, you use your dies to cut out, and your dies to cut out here. This is very pretty. You could probably, using the stamp from this, you can make your own pattern paper, very similar to this. Little cookies, little blenders, you got this. Little leaves, dots, confetti dots, stripes horizontal, and it starts all over again. What we're going to do, me, and the design team, Michelle, Cheryl, and Chris, what we're going to do is we're all going to make something in the neighborhood of 5 cards out of using the card kit, and we're going to link up each other's YouTube or blogs. I'll have all those links below, and hopefully you'll get tons of ideas and inspiration on how to use your kit if you feel blocked, or creator's block, I guess is what it's called. Creator's block? Yeah, something like that, if I could just say it. And I know the feeling, what happens when you need some inspiration, and hopefully we can bring you some. So hang in there, and I'm going to start my cards. Okay, for card number 1, the supplies that I used, everything's going to be linked below, and I'm also going to, after each card, I'm going to post a card up with all the supplies I used. Rectangle 2-pack. They're great for layering. The slimline rectangle dies that are layering dies that were just released. The dotted ovals and any square die. Now, these are self-explanatory. These are self-explanatory. What I did with these, I cut banners out using these dies. And then to create the fishtail, I use a corner, and that creates a fishtail. Or you could just use a pair of scissors, go in the middle, then snip, and meet in the middle and get your fishtail. It's not an exact science, but that's okay. Handmade cards are not an exact science. If they're that exact, you need to go see Hallmark. Okay, so let's get this card put together. And that is card number 1. Okay, for card number 2, I'm going to make a mini slimline die. So I'm using the slimline dies and the scallop tags. Here's the mixer from the paper pad that I had cut out. And I'm going to take a little bit of Copic B000 and just flick some color around the edge of the bowl to give it a little bit of dimension. Very lightly, just around the edge. And then I'm going to hit it with some Nuvo Glimmer, shimmer, I think it's a shimmer, to make it look like glass. And then the little screw that's on the mixer, I'm going to give that a little dimension using the 3D inks from the Stamps of Life and the silver. I tap it a little bit because it caused a peak, and sometimes by tapping it, it domes out. Now for the cookie, I want to ink the edges, and I started out with the softer pad and realized that wasn't going to work. So I went and grabbed the finger dauber and adding a really thick layer of chocolate around the cookie to make it look like the browning that happens in the oven. I do smear it a little bit, but the way I did the layout on the card, I was able to hide those spots. Now I cut out the 2 tags, one out of the pattern paper, and this white tag, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp using the leaves that come with the stamp set and kiwi ink, a random pattern to create my own paper pad on that tag. I use a piece of scrap paper because I want to stamp off the edge to make it look more realistic or more like true pattern paper. Now I'm going to start assembling the tag. Still being careful because the 3D ink is still wet. I should have waited till the end to add that. But you'll watch that I'm being very careful this whole time not to stick my finger in that, that ink. Now I have some natural twine from my stash. I'm going to weave it between the 2 tags. So I'm just folding the twine in half and I'm pinching it through the holes of the tag. And now here I start messing with it because I was originally going to make a knot and then realized it wasn't going to work because the knot would have to be really big because the hole is really big on the tag. So I had a little glue to hold the small tag down in place as I try to figure out what I'm going to do with the twine. So since I'm going to pop up the tag anyway, I figured I'd use the foam to hold the twine in place. So I go ahead and add about 4 strips down the length of the tag to pop it up a little bit on the card. I'm going to use the foil heart and I'm going to put that on the little tiny tag on top. Now I'm figuring out the arrangement, not quite sure what to do with the hooray. The hooray, the letters pop out individually, so I just cut them out and glued it onto the shadow, and the shadow is cut out in vellum. Here I take a little bit of the ribbon that came with the kit, and I'm just going to put it in between the twine and make a bow. Actually, this tag you can give with any big good gift that you give to anyone. You don't even have to put it on a card. Now it's time to start assembling the card. What happened there was I wasn't sure about the vellum. I thought maybe I'd give it a color instead, but then I changed my mind. Still being careful not to stick my finger in that 3D ink. I did, by the way, go through this entire process and not stick my finger. I'm very proud of myself. but unfortunately I had to do a voiceover for this card. Now I'm going to glue it onto the card base. And I'm going to pull out some of the gems that came with the kit and adorn the card. I always add a little bit of glue, even though there's like adhesive on the back of these gems, because sometimes the adhesive fails on me and I find them laying all over the place. So I've made it a habit to use glue. And that is the second card. Okay, for card number 3, I'm going to use, or I want to use the teacup folded. But I was thinking in my head, since I don't plan these things, I wanted to group some cookies, but they seem kind of big, the ones that come in the paper pad that are cut with the dies. But then I was looking through the pad and I came across this sheet, and I'm thinking I'm going to cut, just fussy cut, these 3 out and create a small grouping here in the corner. So now let me go ahead and get started on card number 3. Okay, easy peasy. I got myself some smaller cookies. I have cut out all the pieces to the teacup, and now I'm going to go ahead and ink everything up. So let me speed it up since this process is pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so all the inking is done, and the colors I used were candy, kiwi, and chocolate. So now I'm going to go ahead and start assembling the card. Okay, all done. I think so far this one is my favorite. So let me clean up and start card number 4. Okay, card number 4. I guess it's not a card kit tutorial without a slimline. So I'm going to use this particular one. I don't remember the name of this drop-in, but I will, again, all the supplies will be listed at the end of each card, and I will have links on the bottom. So instead of using the regular slimline drop-in, I'm going to use the scalloped one. Okay, and then of course it's going to have to make the card base. And then I'm also going to use this die right here that you will find in the mini slimline die set. And what I'm going to do with this is perfect for a sentiment, because I want to use the sentiment that's included with the card kit, and it cuts it out beautifully, as you see right here. I already went ahead and did it. I stamped it with twig, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut an angle, and that gives me a really pretty sentiment strip for my card. Isn't that nice? So just remember that you can use these for sentiment strips. I'm going to go ahead and do all the prep like I did with the other cards, and I'm going to go ahead right into the assembly, because from this point on there's really no added information. And that is card number 4. Okay, for my 5th and final card, I'm going to go nice and simple. And because I really want this sentiment to be the focal point of the card. Okay, so what I'm going to use for this card are the scallop rectangles, the regular rectangles, and again, I'm going to pull this out of the slimline rectangle layering dies. What I'm going to do with this die is I'm going to cut out some paper and I'm going to lay it across at an angle as a background to the sentiment. Okay, so you'll see me do this right now. I have all the pieces cut out already. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and condition this stamp because it's brand new. So let me just take some scrap paper and get that nice and inked. Oh, stamped really nice. Okay. Okay, so now make sure I have no ink on my hands. I'm going to try to stamp up a little bit higher because I want to either put the heart stamp or the leaf stamps. I might just use the shiny hearts here. So let me go ahead and hopefully I don't mess this up. I guess the beauty of taping is that I could always go back and start again. So I had a little, there was some little dust or something on here on the, no big deal. Just grab a black marker and fill it in. There, nobody will ever know. Okay, then I'm going to take the leaves, and I had a block here. I don't know what I did with it. And the other leaf, that's pretty. Okay, so let me go ahead and start assembling. Again, this is going to be a really easy card. And add the heart. And I'm going to pop this up. So I usually buy fun foam and use it for when I want to pop up big areas. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on so it starts to dry. And Now we'll come over here. Let me take my, I shouldn't be gluing on my secret weapon. So you see, I'm going to take this now and I'm going to lay it across. At an angle. And I'm gonna just, with a pair of scissors, go ahead using the edge of the cardstock and cut right up along the edge there. And then do the same for that. Then I'm going to take another scallop paper and I'm going to glue this on. No. Oh, I smudged it. Okay. Flowers to the rescue. Let me see if I can. There, nobody will ever know. So we'll just add those flowers on there like that. And then we'll adhere it to the card base. And that is probably the quickest card anybody could ever make. And that's card number 5.